Hey guys, it's Sunday, December 20th. The time is 3:13 p.m. and the temperature right now is 5 degrees Celsius. I'm currently walking west along College Street, and that was the intersection of Spadina Avenue and College Street where I started. And the plan for this one is to head west for a few blocks, and then I'll turn south down Augusta Avenue and explore Kensington Market for a bit. Then we'll take a quick look around Chinatown and Baldwin Village. Then I'll head down to Grange Park and finish up by walking over to St. Patrick's Station. There's a line up there at the Canada Computers. They used to have a number of locations along this stretch of College Street, but I think they're down to just one right now. And just over there on the south side of the street used to be the location of an independent city market, which is code for Loblaws grocery store. They're currently running buses along College Street. I think well off to the west as College merges into Dundas Street, there is construction, so they can't run the streetcars along the normal route. And just up ahead here is Augusta Avenue, so I'll head south. And we'll see how Kensington Market is doing this weekend. This would normally be quite the busy time for Kensington on a weekday afternoon. Especially since it's the last weekend before Christmas. Let me just cross over here. Off to the west along College Street is Little Italy. And there's a look south down Augusta. Kensington is a neighborhood that features a lot of indie shops and boutiques and art spaces, along with a number of bars, restaurants, and various cafes. But unfortunately, a lot of these businesses have been dropping like flies. There's been at least a dozen businesses that have gone under since the start of the pandemic. That's okay. Thank you. There's Trinity Common, a popular watering hole here in Kensington, and right across the street is Supermarket, another one. Both of those bars feature large outdoor patios, which they're not allowed to utilize. Hopefully they won't be victims of these recent restrictions. One really known or well-known bar, Cold Tea, has shut down due to the restrictions in place. Another venue, the Boat, which is down to the south here on Augusta Avenue, along with the upstairs music venue, the Round, have also had to close down, although they're citing what the owners believe to be an illegal landlord eviction. Apparently the landlord of that venue did not apply for any type of relief, which they were eligible for, and opted to kick the long-standing tenants out. Here's an interesting alleyway. This neighborhood in particular seems to be in a never-ending struggle, battling raising rent prices and increased pressure from the forces of gentrification and larger scale retailers.
That's what we need to get.
Let's look down Nassau Street. There's some neat little shops down there. This is easily one of the most requested neighborhoods on the channel that people are always asking that I take a stroll around and record. It's also a neighborhood that you'll find near the top of the list in pretty much every tour guide to Toronto. Most online resources and written tour books will highlight Kensington Market as one of the most unique and interesting neighborhoods, not just in Toronto, but probably all of North America. This is Bellevue Square Park. I think I last toured around here at the end of summer. There's a statue of Al Waxman, the King of Kensington, on the west side of the park. What I'll do is head south to Dundas Street, and then I'll head east for a block and walk north up Kensington. Augusta Avenue and Kensington Avenue would be the two main retail stretches. But there's also Nassau Street and Baldwin and a few others that are worth exploring. And here's where the boat is. Or rather, was, along with the upstairs round venue. And I think this Muay Thai shop is getting kicked out as well. It certainly hasn't been a good year for live music venues. And those are becoming harder and harder to operate in the city as time goes by, as rent goes up. Most of them aren't exactly high revenue kind of businesses. And this is Dundas Street West. So here's where Kensington Market meets Chinatown.
This one is not great.
So most of the retail stores are only open for curbside pickup, and the restaurants are takeout and delivery only. And that's having a particularly devastating effect on a neighborhood like this. So here we are, Kensington Avenue. There's some very popular secondhand clothing stores along this part of Kensington.
And your head like it goes straight, the back feels straight after 40. Nothing's happening. Yeah.
The mannequins up there on that store have been there for as long as I can remember. I can't remember if I walked past the potted car, I guess you could call it, that is normally on Augusta Avenue. It's gone through several different iterations over the years, but it's basically a car that's turned into a living garden of sorts.
And your head like it goes straight, the back feels straight after 40. Nothing's happening. Yeah. Yeah. And your head like it goes straight, the back feels straight after 40. Nothing's happening.
All right, so I'm now heading east on Baldwin. Thought I'd stop talking for a while there, as it's very likely I have to replace some of that audio. There's a bit of a minefield of music there. So I'll be coming up on Spadina Avenue just up ahead, then I'll head south down to Spadina and Dundas. And I actually recorded pretty much my entire trip here from not too far from where I live to Eglinton Station, and then taking the TTC all the way to Queen's Park Station and walking over to where I started this walk. And I'll be playing that footage on a live stream I'm planning to do on my Johnny Stumbles channel. It'll just be background footage for the stream. If you're interested in seeing that, head over to that channel and subscribe. I'll probably be incorporating that into tonight's stream. So by the time you're watching it, or watching this, the stream will have already taken place. There's a look south down Spadina. It's a pretty iconic Toronto view right here. Streetcar heading up Spadina Avenue with the CN Tower in the background in Chinatown. So I went from one neighborhood that's fairly devastated by these restrictions in place to another neighborhood that's also suffering quite deeply. I was a bit surprised that I was able to order a meal from Koreatown, from home-cooked duck galbi, all the way up to where I live at Yonge and Eglinton, and it was just the normal delivery fee on Uber, and it actually came hot. So I'm thinking of making some orders from restaurants in this area. It's obviously good to try to support these businesses since the government doesn't seem to care about them. And by that I mean they've really kind of thrown them into a straitjacket in terms of their ability to just operate and sell to customers, but they're not giving them any type of meaningful financial support. I'm not saying if closing them down is the right thing to do or not, but it's definitely not the right thing to force them to close down and push good businesses out of business completely when you have measures that certainly favor larger retail operations. And that's really a growing sentiment in the city of Toronto, and it's good to see. People are growing frustrated with the lack of support of a lot of local businesses. They're kind of put in a position where a lot of the goods they sell, you can simply walk into a Walmart and buy, or a store like that, but you can't do it to these businesses. So really, where does that leave a lot of these retailers? Competing with Amazon? That's not a very fair fight. And the restaurants are sort of hung out to dry as well. They can't even offer outdoor dining. And neighborhoods like Kensington and Chinatown are also reliant on people from out of the city coming in and doing business. By the way, I'm now heading east along the north side of Dundas Street West. So here is Huron Street. I was thinking of going north up here to Baldwin, but what I'll do instead is I'll head over to Beverley Street. And I'll head up to Baldwin and pass through Baldwin Village that way. Savory Chinese crepes. I don't think I've ever had that. And here we are at Beverley Street. There's the Frank Gehry Art Gallery of Ontario across the street. Or at least the redesign and addition was done by Frank Gehry. Those are the Beverley mansions across the street. I think Beverley and St. George to the north are two of the nicest streets that aren't lined with retail. You could walk along in downtown. This would be Darcy Street, and that would be Hayden Park Secondary School across the street. This would have been a nice day to film a cycling video. And I should have brought my live streaming stuff with me as well. It would have been a good day to do a live stream. There's the Chinese Presbyterian Church. This is Baldwin Street. You can see these street signs have Chinese characters on them. They look to me like traditional characters and not the simplified form. And this area is known as Baldwin Village. There's a lot of neat restaurants around here. There's a Kinton Ramen. In the summertime, this is usually a great place to grab a meal. There's a lot of patios set up. But as you can see, it's a ghost town today. And all you can do is hope that these businesses pull through. Where I live, at Yonge and Eglinton, there seems to be a constant flow of delivery guys coming to and from all the restaurants, as well as people popping in to pick stuff up, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of that here. It might just be anecdotal, but I'm assuming that's a rather grave sign. But really, what are these landlords going to do if their tenant stops paying rent? Do they evict them and then just have an empty building on their hands and no tenant? Do you make a deal where you take some rent? I think the dominoes have already started to fall. And there's a lot of really unfortunate situations right now. Like this place, Cube Shops. It's a neat retailer that I don't see how they're going to get by. In fact, they haven't even bothered to open today. This used to be a Korean restaurant on the corner. Now it's a St. Louis Bar and Grill. And this is McCaul Street.
And now it's like, but like, now she's giving.
Well, at least Krispy Kreme is doing a healthy business today. Here's a place called Sin and Redemption. Doesn't look like they even bothered to open up and fire up the kitchen. And this place here in the corner would normally be quite popular. It was the Village Genius Pub, not the Village Idiot. And this is the OCAD College of Art and Design. I think now they just call it OCAD University. Everything's a university in Toronto these days, or rather the entire province. I remember watching this thing go up. It was designed by Will Aslop. And this would be Grange Park, where I'm entering. I've certainly passed through here on a few walks before. Looks a bit mucky on that side. Let's just head up over here. That's the south side of the Art Gallery of Ontario. Just off in the distance would be Beverley Street. I think I saw on the Ken Continuum channel that Ken recently came through here. I didn't watch that video. I'm pretty sure I got a notification for it, so if you're interested in seeing more of Grange Park, check his channel out. I've also been through here several times. It is good to see families out and enjoying themselves, and dogs getting some much needed exercise. if the province does end up unleashing some sort of stay-at-home order tomorrow, it'll be really curious to see how that actually affects life on the streets and in the parks. I'm certainly of the opinion that going out and getting some fresh air and going for a walk while not engaging with others is not only harmless from the perspective of the virus, but it's just really healthy and really good for people to do. So this here is John Street. And just to the south of here is Queen Street West. There's some furniture for you if you want. I have my doubts that that microwave is going to work. And I'm pretty sure right around here was a bicycle shop called the Urbane Cyclist, where I bought the single speed that I currently use to record bike rides on this channel.
Shipping is expensive. So
here's Queen Street West. There's the old Chum headquarters, now the home to Bell Globe Media. Just gonna pop over to this side of the street and check out the Christmas tree in the parking lot here. I know. And this is McCaul Street, where it just was. This would normally be easily one of the busiest retail stretches in the city, especially as we are heading into Christmas within a week. There's a Rudy. I had Rudy recently. It was quite excellent. That was another thing I ordered off Uber Eats, and I have no idea if it's even in my neighborhood or not. Probably should have paid more attention to that. All right, I said I was going to end this at St. Patrick's Station, but I think what I'm actually going to do is end this walk just up ahead here at Osgood Station.
And I still can't get a fucking light.
Well, if I had a light, I would help that guy. And here is University Avenue. So I'm just going to finish recording right here. Often at the end of these videos, I'll head down to the subway and jump on the train, but this is going to be a little different, as once I'm done recording this, I'll be recording a bonus video for Patreon and YouTube channel members. If you subscribe to the channel through Patreon or the YouTube channel membership and you have a silver tier or higher membership, I have promised to do at least one bonus video every month, although I really should start doing a few more than that. If you are a member, I certainly appreciate your support. And I think we'll leave it at that. So I hope you enjoyed this walk through Kensington Market, as well as Chinatown, Baldwin Village, Grange Park, and part of Queen Street West. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.